The new $10.5 million ad campaign of the United Church of Canada features ads that portray Jesus alternatively as Santa Claus and as a bobblehead doll. It's winning accolades across the ad industry, while church leaders reacted with cautious approval. Ad agency executives say the campaign should be effective at positioning the church as tolerant and relevant. The ads, which will run in magazines and community newspapers, also raise the controversial issue of gay marriage and ask whether certain exotic sex acts are sins. Reverend Peter Wyatt, the principal of the University of Toronto's United Church Theological College, said he was amazed and glad when he picked up his newspaper and saw a Jesus bobblehead doll on the front page. Rather than tell people what the United Church stands for, such as ordaining women in same-sex marriage, the advertisements encourage them to ask questions about issues of faith.
You know, Dave, last week you quoted the scripture, I think it was Luke 18, when the Son of Man cometh, we will find the faith on the earth. This is just outrageous is probably, it's tragic, it's outrageous. Outrageous is probably soft about this. This is blasphemous. This is just a complete disregard for the scriptures. I mean, they could care less. It's all comes down to, well, what do people think? How can we dialogue about these things? Well, how can we demonstrate that we're really friends of the world and things that are going on in the world? We can accommodate them. Certainly, Christianity is broader than some of these narrow-minded people think.
Well, in a word, Tom, it's stupid. It's insane. If we could get the whole world to believe in a Jesus who is a cross between a bobblehead doll and Santa Claus, wouldn't that be great? No, it would not be great. You would be sending them all to hell. It would be a delusion. This is not Jesus Christ. He said, the Bible says, Jesus Christ the same yesterday, today, and forever. Jesus said, he that hath seen me hath seen the Father. Paul writes, great is the mystery of godliness. God manifest in the flesh. Now, you're manifesting God. I'm beginning to get angry, Tom.
Well, you should. I mean, this is righteous anger.
Yeah, you're manifesting,
without a doubt.
You're manifesting God in the flesh with a Santa Claus Jesus or a bobblehead doll Jesus. And you look at that and you've seen the Father. I mean, Tom, you said it was blasphemy.
Well, you know, Dave, it's part of the reason they say they're doing this is to get attention. In other words, they place these things like the bobblehead doll, or they put a person that supposedly looks like Jesus sitting in a mall with a child on his lap. And the whole idea is they're trying to raise interest, and then they send them to a website in which they can dialogue about these things. I mean, it's very much like the Alpha Course, Dave, in which you come into a meeting of people and, you know, nobody can correct anything. Nobody can say, well, wait a minute, this isn't really Jesus, and Jesus would not go along with this. I mean, doctrine has to be pushed way aside. It is insane.
I'm sure they're raising interest. Interest in what? In whom?
Well, certainly not the biblical Jesus.
Right. And certainly this is not going to lead them to salvation. They don't even know they're lost, and anything goes. Tom, it is symptomatic, of course, of the situation of the United Church of Canada. It's been apostate for many years. They don't go by the Bible.
Dave, 2 years ago, I was in British Columbia, in Victoria, okay? And I took a picture of the sign outside the United Church of Canada. It started out with yoga. That was the top thing that they were into. Okay, then they had dancing. Then they had a whole list of things. Another cathedral there had a labyrinth prayer design in their courtyard, which amazingly was sponsored in part by the country of Canada.
Right. Tom, can I say it again? Having a little debate, this was several years ago now, on the radio with a Muslim in Washington, D.C., And he was saying Islam is peace, et cetera, all this nonsense. And I said, look, you want to make up a religion, go ahead. Invent any religion you want, but you cannot call it Islam. Islam has its scriptures. It has its founding prophet. It has its successors to the prophet. It has the hadith, the sayings of Muhammad. It has the teachings of Muhammad. It has a history for 1,400 years almost. You can't just make up a religion and call it Islam. And then I said, I say the same thing to those who call themselves Christians. You want to invent a religion? Go ahead. Invent any religion you want. But don't you dare call it Christianity unless you follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. You follow what his word says, and you follow his way of salvation and believe in him as he portrays himself in the pages of Scripture, and you know in your own conscience. Tom, these people have abandoned everything. They're playing some kind of a religious game. There's no concern about who goes to heaven or who goes to hell. They don't even believe in that. They're like the rabbis in Jesus' day. In Matthew 23, Jesus denounced them. He said, you scoundrels, you stand in the way of those who would go into heaven. Not only don't you enter in, but you stand in the way of others who would. And this is, of course, a little bit different. You set up a system of religion so complex that it would take a lawyer to unravel it, and you are the only ones who can interpret it. Therefore, they have to come to you. They're at your mercy, but these people have destroyed everything, and now who cares? Oh, just come along to our church, and we'll give you what you want. But it's all a part of the broad road to destruction.
And it's advanced by marketing, Dave, by ad agencies and so on. I mean, they turned $10.5 million over to an ad agency to now present Jesus, okay? Now, there's another...
An ad agency that doesn't know the first thing about Jesus.
No, they just want to... Whatever your product is, they'll sell. But, Dave, there's another interesting twist here. The idea is that the people they're trying to attract are not interested in church. But they love Jesus. Jesus is okay, but the church is wrong. But so they give them a Jesus so far removed from the Scriptures that it's so this is a caricature. This is a bobblehead. This is insane.
And it's evil. And they will be rewarded by God for it.
For more information about the Berean call us toll-free at our order number or visit our website